Okay, hey everyone, Michelle Frary, Member of Parliament, Peterborough Kawartha, just outside committee. We've just sort of taken a outside here. We're just in this tiny little area, and some breaking and shocking news of what just happened in committee. We had Justice Minister Arif Virani testify, and you know what? It's shocking, but it's not surprising what this guy does. It's everybody else's fault. It's the province's fault. I brought up the case in my local riding of Selena Taylor, who was murdered by a man who was out on repeat bail offenses. And he went on to say, oh, but it's the province's fault. So I have Jamil Jivani here with me. Jamil, yes. You had quite an exchange with the minister today in the House. And
I did.
He actually called you a jackass, which I don't know if the Hansard caught it, but you really called him out on what he's been doing.
Yeah, he gets emotional when you tell the truth. And the truth is that this guy is delusional. He stood in the House of Commons today and said that they had delivered bail reform. And anybody watching this all across our wonderful country knows the Liberals have not delivered bail reform. In fact, bail continues to be one of the leading causes of crime and chaos in communities across Canada. These guys aren't here to tell the truth. They're here to live in an alternate reality, very different from the rest of Canada. And when you point out that they're living in a delusional place, they get frustrated and they just continue to just run their mouths and mislead people. And the good thing is that Canadians know they're not telling the truth. Exactly. And our colleague here, Mr. Brock, can explain exactly what the federal decision was years ago that have actually made it very difficult for other levels of government to properly enforce the law in our country.
Okay, so Larry Brock, Tako van Popta, you guys have been lawyer, me. This is Justice Committee, welcome. But Larry, what is he leaving out? Because this is what drives me crazy, and Tako, you must see this all the time. It's everybody else's fault. Oh, I didn't get the email. Oh, I didn't get the phone call. Oh. Yeah. So what do you have here, Larry?
Well, I agree with you. He's taking a victory lap in the House and in this committee as well, claiming that the only bill that he's introduced as minister, Bill C-48, was somehow a success. Bill C-48 simply introduced reverse onus provisions. Still, people are getting released on bail. People who have numerous charges are still being released. Why are they being released? They are being released because of Bill 75, which was introduced in 2018. Now, I want to read out various sections of this because I'm sick and tired of our chief legal officer casting no aspersion against his department and himself, blaming provinces, blaming provincial court judges and justices of the peace for not keeping communities safe. He is not keeping communities safe because he's done nothing with respect to 493.1 of the Criminal Code. This is what's handicapping our judges and our justice of the peace in releasing those serial violent offenders. It says, in making a decision, a peace officer, a judge, or a justice shall, which is mandatory language, shall give primary consideration to the release of the accused at the earliest reasonable opportunity and on the least onerous conditions that are appropriate in the circumstances. What that means, folks, is it doesn't matter about the offender's background. It doesn't matter what the nature of the offense is. It doesn't matter what the criminal record is. They must consider early release for those offenders, regardless of circumstances, and on the least onerous conditions. That is solely within this federal minister's jurisdiction. He's doing nothing about it because he's weak. The whole government has been weak on bail, and a conservative government is immediately going to repeal Bill 75 to keep our community safe.
Thank you, Larry. Tako, I have a quick question for you. You've been sitting here for a long time. Do they just not know, or are they incompetent, or both?
Probably a bit of both, a lot of both. As a matter of fact, Mr. Virani had the opportunity today to take responsibility for some of the incompetence and to tell us how they were going to make amends. But instead, like Larry said, just blaming it on the provinces. I just think it's so disappointing that they're doing that. The provinces, Crown prosecutors, have to work with the tools that they're given by the federal government under its criminal law jurisdiction. Larry just read the relevant section. This is what provinces have to deal with. Mr. Virani, time to take responsibility for your own government's mismanagement.
All I can tell you, Canada, is you got this guy, you got this guy, You got this guy, you got me, and you got a whole bunch of other people that are not going to stop fighting, and we will call them out. Like, Jamil, what you did today, we're going to keep doing that every day. This government is falling, and we're going to call them out. And it's up to you guys, too, to call them out, and to comment, and to share, and to make sure people know that they are using these excuses that don't work, and people aren't buying what they're selling. Thanks, guys. Let's go back. Larry,
Time
you're
is
late.
up.
You're late.
Time is up.
Go get them. Go get them.
Yeah.